energy names, I'm so glad I don't trade them because I'd be thinking they're up too much and maybe wanting to short them. We spoke about the likelihood, I thought, that maybe we get stuck underneath these moving averages and roll over. Well, the market had a different plan. I didn't short this market. I didn't go long this market, but this was a potential scenario. When the market tells us that that potential scenario is not happening, we can stay stubborn and say, well, I think they're up too much and short them, or we can listen to the market and say, hey, you know what? The market got saved. It didn't break down. So do you want to remain stubborn and try to, pick the top in here, or do you want to listen to the message of the market as it says higher highs and higher lows above the rising 5-day moving average? So from an intermediate term perspective, it remains a beautiful uptrend. That's why I didn't say there is resistance here. I said this is a level of interest that has the potential to become resistance. So we want to watch it carefully if you're long. It's not a place to sell. It's not a place to sell short. It's a place to raise your stops. And that's the way I look at every level of interest. Support and resistance are only known after the fact. People who say, hey, there's resistance at 91 for the XLE, they don't know what they're talking about. People who say there's resistance at 540 on the Qs, they don't know what they're talking about. It's a level of interest where the sellers showed up before, but it doesn't mean it has to next time. So, just listen to the message of the market. And if your thesis is invalidated by the market action and the market says, it looked vulnerable, everything textbook about it said it looked vulnerable for a breakdown, but there was no confirmation of it. One, you don't lose money on the sidelines waiting for price confirmation. And two, you don't lose money, fighting the trend as it goes higher. More importantly, you're not saying, hey, I'm right, the market's wrong. It should find resistance. People will say, hey, there's resistance at the 200-day moving average. There was no resistance at the 200-day moving average. It closed there that day. And I saw people saying it's resistance. It was a probe of the 200-day moving average. If it backed down over the next couple of days, you could say, yeah, that was resistance.